Well, for more on this story, I'm joined by our international affairs editor, Armen Georgian. Now, Armen, good morning to you. This is a very rare event, but who is benefiting from this summit?
Yeah, it's really extraordinary to see these pictures. I mean, it's not every day that the leader of a democratic country comes to the North Korea, and is welcomed in this way. It's, of course, a visit to a country that is anything but a normal state. And well, to me, these pictures, they say a couple of things in terms of the messaging. Firstly, that Kim Jong Un is gaining legitimacy on the world stage, and secondly, that Moon Jae-in is accepting that bid, which really began with Kim Jong Un's New Year's Day address at the beginning of this year, when he reached out to South Korea, and that led to the Winter Olympics, various other forms of cooperation. These two men actually shook hands at the border in April at the Truce Village, and very briefly they stepped into North Korea. And at the time, the media was saying that was such a big step, a small step, but symbolically a huge step. Well, compare that to April to this. I mean, this is a whole new level of symbolism, of legitimacy that Kim Jong Un is gaining with this visit by President Moon of South Korea.
Well, the South Korean leader has been instrumental in brokering a diplomatic thaw between Pyongyang and Washington. How could the summit then impact the recent diplomatic efforts between the US and the North?
Well, when we talk about diplomatic efforts between the US and the North, you have to bear in mind there's a very long-standing North Korean tactic, which is to drive a wedge between South Korea and the US. And historically, that's taken two different forms. Either the North will cozy up to the United States in order to get South Korea worried, or North Korea will cozy up to South Korea and get the United States worried. And that latter scenario is what's happening at the moment. Of course, Kim is taking advantage of the fact that there is now this sort of deadlock between the US and North Korea, and therefore he's an opening with President Moon. And it's not just the fact that the Singapore summit with Trump, that hasn't led to the breakthroughs that were pledged at the time. It's also the fact that Donald Trump is effectively in a trade war with China, which means that Trump cannot hope for cooperation from China on the North Korean issue. So there are really different factors that are giving Kim Jong-un this opening, and really this is about improving ties sort of incrementally, but not dealing with the really thorny issues, that is to say, North Korea's nuclear weapons. It will be mentioned in Pyongyang, that's what the South Korean government has said, but President Moon's chief of staff has said it's difficult to have any optimistic outlook on denuclearization at this meeting in Pyongyang. That, of course, can't be an encouraging sign for Washington.
Indeed. OK, Armen, thanks very much for that update. Armen Georgian, France 24's international affairs editor there for us.